Hey guys, hope everything is going well. The end of the year is almost here, and it will probably provide great opportunities in the sports card market. Hopefully, next year won't be as crazy, but I'm pretty sure the first 3 months are going to be nuts. Probably more lockdowns, probably more people getting mad, but you don't have to be mad. You could be looking at the sports card market if you have the money. And you could, if you don't have that much money, you could always go to Star Stock and reinvest some of the small amounts that you want in there. Anyways, I wanted to look at the next stimulus check that many Americans will get. And if you're a couple making less than 150 grand, you're going to get $1,200, $600 per each. And the thing is that I think if you are financially stable, you should be taking that $600 and be reinvesting in the sports card market, at least for the next few years. I expect downturn in the sports card market, which probably will coincide with the stock market decrease, but that's probably a few years away. I don't see it happening next year. You may see some ups and downs in the card market and the stock market, but I don't think it's going to be that crazy. But, I've observed a lot of people on YouTube, and a lot of these people are talking about the NBA market. I've highlighted that in the last few videos. Now, what I like doing is I like doing things that people are not doing at all. I like being the contrarian. My channel is called AIH. It stands for Alternative Investors Hangout. I have actually another channel called that. It's more focused on, the financial markets. And I just want to think outside the box. And this doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to flip cards. I just want to look at cards where I could potentially make a good profit in my retirement. And I'll show you some of the things that I'm looking at. And I've used about $200 to $300 already investing in this one rare card, and no one's looking at it. And I'm quite surprised that not many people are looking at rare sports cards because, we know that the basketball cards have gone up like crazy. We know that the Bumblebee card of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, that card has gone up like crazy. PSA 10 went from 1,500 to about 15,000. The Mayweather rookie card, PSA 10, went from about 2,000 to 15,000. So I want to identify cards that could potentially go like that. You could see crazy returns. It may not happen all at once, but there could be a spark that creates it. And I want to look at this one card over here, or one pack, that many people are not even looking at. Everyone talks about the 1986 Jordan pack. But look at this, the 2000 Chrome. Oh man, the picturing is really strange, but I'll try to zoom in as much as I can. Yeah, there we go. The 2000 Chrome pack, and this is a PSA 10. And there's a population on PSA right now of 119. I expect this population to continue to rise because there's still more packs out there. And why is this pack significant? It's the football pack where Tom Brady's card is in it. And there's one of his most coveted cards. It's the refractor. It's a Chrome refractor 2000. PSA 10 right now on eBay. Someone's selling it, I believe, for $230,000. I think this card will go for millions of dollars, just like the Gretzky card did, just like the LeBron card did. And yeah, so that being said, a PSA 10 pack, what could that go in 15 years when they have a documentary about Tom Brady? That's something that I believe this card will go up. Not this card, but this pack will go up. And the population size is very, very low. And if you look at the 1986 Fleer pack for MJ, I think the population size is maybe 1,000 or so, but it's highly coveted. You don't see that many PSA 10s, if there are any at all. There's a handful of PSA 9s, PSA 8s. Some of them, when the Jordan documentary came out, they went for $5,000. It was a PSA 8. What would a PSA 10 go for? I don't know. I don't expect this to go up next year. But what happens when Tom Brady retires? That's probably going to happen within the next, 1 to 2 years, in my opinion. Brees is going to retire next year, most likely, because of his punctured lungs. And then who's next? Tom Brady. Okay. The next card I want to look at, or cards I have, is Usain Bolt. You're like, what? Yes, Usain Bolt, the runner, the sprinter from Jamaica. And he is one of the greatest sprinters of all time. What is it, 8 gold medals? Someone could research that right now and correct me if I'm wrong. So this guy, was one of the greatest. I believe his records are going to be hard to break in the coming future. It could happen maybe over 50 years. But at the same time, this card has not that much supply on PSA. As of right now, there's 55 graded cards. Only 2 are PSA 10s as of this minute. So what happens in 15, 20 years when there's roughly any supply and the demand of this card will go up? And I bought 2 of these cards from a guy who had 0 reviews. And this is pretty... I got them, in my opinion, at a decent price. And I believe that since not many people are looking at it, it's a great bargain. And that's despite all of the hot money coming into this market. So that's a rare card that I'm going to be looking out for. There are people looking out for this, but I'm surprised that more people have not. Probably because it's track and field, and who invests in track and field cards? And the other, if you really want to use your stimulus money, I would look at Serena Williams. Yeah, you're kidding me, right? And, this card I bought in June for $20, but here's the deal. There's no supply, or not that much supply on eBay. So some people are putting these cards up at, $900. Not that anyone would buy this card, but that's something to think about. The supply right now of these cards is very, very low. I believe there's maybe 20, probably lower, and graded on PSA. I don't think I could send this to PSA because there's dings on the back. I may have to go to BGS. But the BGS 8 went for about $400. And a PSA 8 went for $500. This was in end of November. And Serena Williams' career is not over yet. What happens when she retires? In my opinion, the demand for these cards will go higher. And there are a few significant things about Serena Williams. Number one, she is the greatest of all time in terms of female tennis players. 2, she grew up under difficult circumstances in Compton, where I think Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg are from. And, this card is rare. And not many people are going to look at this card because the card industry is dominated by males. And for me, I just look at cards. I don't care if it's a female or a male. I'm here to arbitrage, to make money. And, just because I think Serena Williams sometimes has a nasty attitude, that doesn't matter for me as an investor. I just look at low supply and potential high demand in the future will raise the price. I bought another one of these cards last night. Crazy part was I could have bought it for about $60 some, and I had to pay over $200 some for this Serena Williams ungraded card. But the reason why I paid a premium for this is of the low supply, and not many people have figured this out. There was an auction earlier this week I tried bidding on, and it was an uncut card from Sports Illustrated for Kids, and that went for $405. I was beaten out. I thought it was crazy bidding for $400, but I'm like, okay, the government's giving me free money in the next few weeks or a few months, so I'm going to use it to pay for it. You know, it's not like I'm taking my own savings and my own money that I make from the stock market and reinvest it there. No. And that's what people are going to do. But I understand where people may not want to buy these cards. What I'm talking about, like the Chrome Pack or the Usain Bolt or the Serena Williams, because this is a waiting game. It may not even happen for a decade, but I'm fairly confident these cards will go up. I understand that some people here are flippers. Well, if you want to flip something, I think this would probably be a good flip before the year starts. It's a 2018 Acuna Jr. Holiday PSA 10. I remember seeing this for sale. It sold during the baseball season, end of the year, for like $150, and now I got it for what, $78? Not a bad deal at all, and you could still buy it right now. And also, you know, Tiger Woods documentary is coming out on HBO Max on what, January 7th and January 9th. If you have any Tiger Woods cards, you could maybe flip it at that moment. Or what could happen is it could be like the Jordan documentary, where the price of Tiger Woods cards just go crazy. I mean, all cards went crazy this year. But will documentaries make the price of these cards higher? That's what I'd like to look at. Would they make it go crazy? And that was probably the catalyst this year, where yes, card prices were going up, were going higher, but then the Jordan doc came out, and that's when everyone, all these guys, started to act like teenagers again and just kept on buying and buying and buying and buying and buying these cards. Now, looking at how the behavior is, this is unsustainable. Seeing prices double within, 3 months. Dr. I think his name is Beckett, who created Beckett. He was saying that, it's good to see a decent return, but this type of aggressive returns in a short period of time is unsustainable. So I want to look at a situation, what if the stock market crashes, which brings down the card market tomorrow? It's not going to happen, but theoretically, if it does, I want to look at cards that will withstand that depression or withstand that crazy recession. I want to look at cards that have, from a supply and demand perspective, low supply on PSA and BGS and high demand. And if the demand is not there, I would anticipate the higher demand as time goes on. Like Tom Brady, those cards will probably still be in high demand because Tom Brady is the GOAT. And I'm looking at Serena Williams here. I think her cards will go up like crazy because not many people are getting those cards graded. This card is from 1999. And then Usain Bolt, I think this may be a little difficult because not many people invest in track and field, and who knows how that's going to happen. But I do want to mention that the Olympics are coming this year. So, who knows? You could look at some of these Sports Illustrated for Kids cards, see who you think is going to win some of these gold medals, and then you could flip those cards at that time. Now, I don't follow the Olympics too much. I do know that Simone Biles is probably going to be in her last Olympics this year. So that could be an opportunity, if you're flipping, trying to look at stimulus money to try to, make a buck here and there. My wife and I just bought some Simone Biles cards. It's really cheap. Anyone can buy it as of this moment. And Simone Biles is in her 20s. So go back to like maybe 2008 when Usain Bolt was running, 2009. There were probably plenty of cards of Usain Bolt at the time. But now, 12 years later, it's hard to find. So I expect maybe 12, 14 years from now, it's going to be hard to get those Simone Biles cards. I did buy one of her auto cards. I also did buy a Michael Phelps auto card. So I want to make that I want to observe during the Olympics, will those sports cards go up? And I think they will, because there's so many people right now, just looking at the media and looking at what's going on in the sports industry, and many people act upon the fact. Many people, they do not make the investments way before. And one last example, unrelated to sports, but there's companies like Starbucks. They know that there's going to be huge demand in Christmas time or the holiday season. So they buy up all the coffee in the futures markets, which I actually look at. They buy all this stuff off in June, July, when it's cheaper, allegedly cheaper. And then the demand goes way up, the price of coffee goes up, but they want to protect themselves from the increase in coffee prices. So that's the type of thing that, if you're a sports card investor, that's what you got to do. You got to maybe look out 6 months down the road. And what's going to happen 6, 7 months down the road? The Olympics. And what individual you think is going to do well in the Olympics, and who has their card out. And I haven't done the research. Maybe I should do a video, and you guys comment below. The only person that I know in the Olympics is Simone Biles, like name recognition. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later.